concern regarding the lack of a specific definition for the term continuous in Article 100 of the National Electrical Code is valid. The scope statement in Article 100 indicates that definitions are not intended to include commonly defined general terms or commonly defined technical terms. However, the term continuous can be interpreted in different ways depending on the context in which it is used. In the context of electrical installations, the term continuous could refer to a circuit that is uninterrupted or unbroken, or it could refer to a process that occurs without interruption. Without a clear definition, it is possible for different individuals to interpret the term differently, which could lead to confusion or misinterpretation of the code requirements. To address this concern, the NEC could consider providing a specific definition for the term continuous in future editions of the code. This definition should clearly explain the intended meaning of the term in the context of electrical installations. This would help to ensure that all users of the NEC have a common understanding of the term and its application. Additionally, the NEC could consider providing guidance on how to interpret commonly defined general terms and commonly defined technical terms that are used in the code. This guidance could help users to understand the intended meaning of these terms and how they apply to electrical installations. This would help to reduce confusion and misinterpretation of the code requirements. Overall, providing clear and concise definitions for all terms used in the NEC is essential for ensuring that the code is readable, understandable, and enforceable. By addressing the concern regarding the lack of a specific definition for the term continuous, the NEC can improve its clarity and effectiveness. Considering the term continuous, which often implies a duration of 3 hours or longer in electrical contexts. The ambiguity arises because this common word can be readily read without fully grasping its specific and unique meaning within the electrical code. To aid comprehension, the NEC often sets this word apart, for example, by using bold text to highlight its significance. However, the potential for confusion persists, especially since the term might also be defined in other standards, possibly with varying interpretations. Therefore, without a universally solid and precise meaning for all terms used within the NEC, the text becomes less readable and potentially less clear than it could or should be. In electrical installations, continuous can describe an uninterrupted circuit or an ongoing process without breaks. Differing interpretations can lead to confusion or misapplication of code requirements. To improve clarity, the NEC could include a specific definition for continuous in future editions. This definition should clearly state its intended meaning within electrical installations, ensuring all users understand its application. In addition to defining continuous, the NEC could offer guidance on interpreting common general and technical terms. This guidance would help users understand how these terms apply to electrical installations, reducing confusion and promoting accurate code interpretation. Clarity in definitions is essential for a readable, understandable, and enforceable electrical code. Addressing the ambiguity of continuous enhances the NEC overall clarity and effectiveness. Let's delve into the importance of clear definitions in the National Electrical Code, particularly focusing on the term continuous. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a comprehensive set of standards designed to ensure electrical safety. It covers a wide range of electrical installations from residential wiring to industrial power systems. One of the key elements of the NEC is its definitions section, which aims to provide clarity and consistency in the interpretation of the code's requirements. Article 100 of the NEC addresses definitions, but it also states that it is not intended to include commonly defined general terms or commonly defined technical terms. This raises an interesting point when we consider words like continuous. While seemingly straightforward, its meaning can vary depending on the context. In electrical terms, continuous often refers to something operating for an extended period, typically 3 hours or more. This specific time frame is crucial for calculations related to conductor sizing and overcurrent protection. However, someone unfamiliar with the specific definition might simply interpret continuous as something that doesn't stop, leading to potential miscalculations and unsafe installations. The NEC attempts to highlight important terms by using bold text, drawing attention to their specific meaning within the code. Yet, this might not be enough to fully clarify the nuances, especially when the same word could have different meanings in other standards or everyday language. To improve readability and reduce the risk of misinterpretation, the NEC could benefit from including a more explicit definition of continuous. This definition should clearly state the 3-hour or longer duration, emphasizing its importance in electrical calculations. This added clarity would ensure that all users of the NEC, regardless of their background, have a common understanding of the term. Furthermore, the NEC could provide additional guidance on how to interpret commonly used general and technical terms. This could be in the form of examples or explanations that illustrate the intended meaning of the terms within the context of electrical installations. Such guidance would be particularly helpful for those new to the electrical field or those who work with the NEC infrequently. Clear and concise definitions are paramount to the effectiveness of any code or standard. They minimize ambiguity, promote consistency, and ultimately contribute to safer electrical installations. By addressing the ambiguity surrounding terms like continuous, the NEC can further enhance its clarity and ensure that it remains a valuable resource for electrical professionals. Now let's expand on the practical implications of this issue. Imagine an electrician tasked with sizing conductors for a lighting circuit in a commercial building. The lighting is expected to be on for at least 4 hours each day. If the electrician is unaware of the NEC-specific definition of continuous, they might incorrectly size the conductors based on the assumption that the load is not continuous. This could lead to undersized conductors, which could overheat and potentially cause a fire. On the other hand, if the electrician understands the NEC definition of continuous, they would correctly apply the appropriate directing factors and size the conductors accordingly, ensuring a safe and compliant installation. The lack of a clear definition can also create problems during inspections. An inspector might interpret continuous differently than the electrician who performed the installation, leading to disagreements and potential rework. This can be costly and time-consuming for both parties involved. To avoid these issues, it's crucial that the NEC provides clear and unambiguous definitions for all terms used in the code. This will ensure that everyone is on the same page, from designers and installers to inspectors and enforcers. In addition to providing clear definitions, the NEC could also consider incorporating more visual aids such as diagrams and illustrations to help clarify complex concepts. This would be particularly helpful for those who are visual learners. Furthermore, the NEC could offer more training and educational resources to help electrical professionals stay up to date on the latest code requirements. This could include online courses, webinars, and in-person seminars. By investing in education and training, the NEC can empower electrical professionals to make informed decisions and ensure the safety of electrical installations. It's important to remember that the NEC is a living document that is constantly evolving to reflect changes in technology and industry best practices. As such, it's essential that the NEC remains responsive to the needs of its users and continues to strive for clarity and conciseness. By addressing the ambiguity surrounding terms like continuous and providing clear and accessible definitions, the NEC can further enhance its value as a resource for electrical professionals and contribute to a safer electrical environment for everyone. Let's delve further into how the NEC can improve its clarity through better definitions and guidance. Firstly, the NEC could create a dedicated glossary of terms that are commonly used in the electrical industry but may have different meanings in other contexts. This glossary could include definitions for terms like continuous, grounded, bonded, and ampacity, among others. Each definition should be clear, concise, and specific to the electrical context. Secondly, the NEC could incorporate more examples and illustrations into the code itself. These examples could demonstrate how the definitions are applied in real-world scenarios, making it easier for users to understand the intended meaning. For instance, an example could illustrate how to determine whether a load is considered continuous based on its operating hours. Thirdly, the NEC could develop a series of frequently asked questions or facts that address common questions about the definitions and their application. These FAQ could be made available online and updated regularly to reflect new interpretations and rulings. Fourthly, the NEC could encourage feedback from users on the clarity and usefulness of the definitions. This feedback could be gathered through surveys, online forums, and public hearings. The NEC should then use this feedback to revise and improve the definitions in future editions of the code. Fifthly, the NEC could collaborate with other standards organizations to ensure that the definitions used in the NEC are consistent with those used in other relevant standards. This would help to reduce confusion and promote interoperability. Sixthly, the NEC could provide more training and education on the definitions and their application. This training could be offered through online courses, webinars, and in-person seminars. The training should be designed to be accessible to users of all levels of experience. Seventhly, the NEC could develop a mobile app that provides quick and easy access to the definitions. This app could also include a search function and the ability to bookmark favorite definitions. Eighthly, the NEC could create a certification program for electrical professionals who demonstrate a thorough understanding of the definitions in their application. This certification program could help to raise the level of expertise in the electrical industry. Ninthly, the NEC could work with manufacturers to ensure that their product documentation is consistent with the definitions used in the NEC. This would help to prevent confusion and ensure that products are installed correctly. Tenthly, the NEC could promote the importance of clear and concise definitions through public awareness campaigns. These campaigns could target both electrical professionals and the general public. By taking these steps, the NEC can significantly improve its clarity and ensure that it remains a valuable resource for electrical professionals and the public alike. This will lead to safer electrical installations and a more efficient electrical industry. Now, let's consider some specific examples of how the NEC could improve the definition of continuous and other related terms. For the term continuous load, the NEC could provide a definition similar to this: a load where the maximum current is expected to continue for 3 hours or more. This definition clearly establishes the duration aspect that is crucial for proper circuit sizing and overcurrent protection. To further clarify the application of this definition, the NEC could provide examples such as example 1: lighting in a retail store that is expected to be on for 12 hours per day is considered a continuous load. Example 2: a motor that operates for 2 hours at a time and then shuts off for 1 hour is not considered a continuous load. These examples help to illustrate the difference between a continuous load and a non-continuous load. In addition to the definition of continuous load, the NEC could also provide definitions for other related terms such as non-continuous load, intermittent load, and short time duty. These definitions would help to clarify the different types of loads that are encountered in electrical installations. The definition of non-continuous load could be a load where the maximum current is not expected to continue for 3 hours or more. The definition of intermittent load could be a load that operates for short periods of time with frequent starts and stops. The definition of short time duty could be a load that operates at a substantially constant load for a short and definitely specified time. By providing clear and concise definitions for all of these terms, the NEC can help to ensure that electrical professionals have a common understanding of the different types of loads that they encounter in their work. This will lead to safer and more efficient electrical installations. Furthermore, the NEC could provide guidance on how to calculate the ampacity of conductors for continuous and non-continuous loads. This guidance could include examples of how to apply the appropriate derating factors and correction factors. For example, the NEC could state that for continuous loads, the ampacity of the conductors must be derated 80% of their rated ampacity. This guidance would help electrical professionals to correctly size conductors for continuous and non-continuous loads, ensuring that they are able to safely carry the expected current. In addition to providing guidance on conductor sizing, the NEC could also provide guidance on overcurrent protection for continuous and non-continuous loads. This guidance could include examples of how to select the appropriate size of circuit breakers and fuses. The NEC could state that for continuous loads, the overcurrent protection device must be rated at not less than 125% of the continuous load current. This guidance would help electrical professionals to correctly size overcurrent protection devices for continuous and non-continuous loads, ensuring that the electrical system is properly protected from overloads and short circuits. By providing clear and concise definitions, examples, and guidance on conductor sizing and overcurrent protection, the NEC can help to ensure that electrical installations are safe, efficient, and compliant with the code. This will benefit both electrical professionals and the public alike. Let's explore some additional considerations for improving the clarity and usability of the NEC. One area that could be enhanced is the organization of the code. The NEC is a complex document, and finding the information you need can sometimes be challenging. To address this, the NEC could consider reorganizing the code into a more logical and intuitive structure. For example, the NEC could group together all of the requirements related to a particular type of installation, such as residential wiring or commercial lighting. This would make it easier for users to find all of the relevant information in one place. Another area that could be improved is the use of cross-references. The NEC often refers to other sections of the code, and these cross-references can sometimes be difficult to follow. To address this, the NEC could consider using more specific and descriptive cross-references. For example, instead of simply saying "see Article 300", the NEC could say "see Article 300" for requirements related to wiring methods. This would provide users with more context and make it easier for them to find the information they need. Furthermore, the NEC could consider incorporating more interactive features into the electronic version of the code. For example, the electronic version could include hyperlinks that allow users to quickly jump to referenced sections. It could also include search functions that allow users to easily find specific terms or topics. In addition to these organizational and navigational improvements, the NEC could also consider adopting a more user-friendly writing style. The NEC is often written in a technical and legalistic style, which can be difficult for some users to understand. To address this, the NEC could consider using simpler language and shorter sentences. It could also consider using more active voice and fewer passive voice constructions. By adopting a more user-friendly writing style, the NEC can make the code more accessible to a wider audience. Finally, the NEC should continue to solicit feedback from users on how to improve the code. This feedback can be gathered through surveys, online forums, and public hearings. The NEC should then use this feedback to make ongoing improvements to the code. By continuously striving to improve its clarity, organization, and usability, the NEC can ensure that it remains a valuable resource for electrical professionals and the public alike. This will lead to safer and more efficient electrical installations. The NEC role extends beyond just providing technical requirements. It also plays a crucial role in educating and informing the electrical industry. Let's delve into how the NEC can further enhance its educational outreach. One effective strategy is to develop more comprehensive training programs. These programs should cover not only the technical aspects of the code but also the underlying principles and rationale behind the requirements. This would help electrical professionals to understand why certain requirements are in place and how they contribute to safety. These training programs can be delivered through various channels, including online courses, webinars, and in-person seminars. The NEC could also partner with educational institutions and trade organizations to offer these programs. Another important aspect of educational outreach is to provide clear and concise explanations of complex code concepts. This can be achieved through the use of diagrams, illustrations, and examples. The NEC could also develop a series of short videos that explain key code requirements in a simple and engaging way. These videos could be made available on the NEC website and on social media platforms. Furthermore, the NEC could create a mobile app that provides users with quick and easy access to code information and educational resources. This app could include a search function, a glossary of terms, and a library of training materials. In addition to these educational initiatives, the NEC should also actively engage with the electrical industry through conferences, workshops, and trade shows. These events provide opportunities for the NEC to share information about new code development and to receive feedback from users. The NEC should also encourage participation in the code development process. This can be achieved by providing opportunities for electrical professionals to submit proposals for code changes and to participate in code-making panels. By actively engaging with the electrical industry and providing comprehensive educational resources, the NEC can help to ensure that electrical professionals have the knowledge and skills they need to safely and effectively apply the code. This will lead to a safer electrical environment for everyone. It's also important to remember that the NEC is not just a set of rules, it's a living document that is constantly evolving to reflect changes in technology and industry best practices. As such, it's essential that electrical professionals stay up to date on the latest code requirements. The NEC can help to facilitate this by providing regular updates and revisions to the code. The NEC should also provide clear explanations of the changes that have been made and the reasons behind them. By staying informed about the latest code requirements, electrical professionals can ensure that they are providing safer and compliant electrical installations. This will not only protect the public but also protect themselves from liability. In conclusion, by focusing on clear definitions, improved organization, user-friendly writing, comprehensive education, and active engagement with the electrical industry, the NEC can continue to enhance its value as a resource for electrical professionals and the public alike. This will lead to safer electrical installations and a more efficient electrical industry.